Alright, Jins guys, what's up? I'm going to do a video here. It's a movie rating that I've been meaning to get around to doing. This movie, you pretty much got to get it online. It's an import. And one of the reasons why I got this movie too was like years ago when I lived in the same town that my brother currently lives in. I used to be a member of a CD club, classical CD club, and some of the booklets I end up getting the music score from this movie. And I always wanted to see what the movie was all about for some odd reason. And one day I finally, took years, but I finally went online to get the movie and read about it and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you why this movie is good. And I took video production in college years ago, and if any of these guys watching right now are taking anything as far as video production as a class, and you got to do a report on something, you might be able to do a report on this movie or any other kind of, a college course or any kind of reason that maybe you can get away with doing a report on something like this for your assignment. I'd say it's good. Piece of history there, based on a true story. I was going to tell you about it. And what makes it interesting, if you were ever doing video production, it deals with the very first film cameras that they used to crank, and then the pictures weren't really perfect until they eventually came out with reel-to-reel projectors and stuff like that. But anyway, if you've seen the King Kong movie with Jack Black, the characters were on the island using the camera like that. But anyway, on with the subject of this movie. Anyway, it deals with when these first cameras with moving pictures were first invented. There was no sound or anything. But right when they were invented, barely out, these brothers that, in the photography studio, the old-time photography, they got one of these cameras and they risked their lives going to war-torn, all kind of conflict, in the Balkans, and they were filming the culture, all kind of stuff. And fast forward a bunch of years later, this the guy in this movie, based on a true story, was a controversial film maker, and he had interest. He wanted to go find these lost reels that these brothers made, so he's risking his life and going through all the movie, dealing with all his struggles trying to find these lost reels. And I guess at the end he finds them. I think the ending is really sad, just like in a lot of Holocaust movies. A sad movie, but based on truth. But anyway, there he gets recruits help, and he's trying to, and he runs into old friends, and he's going across borders and all that, trying to find these reels. I mean, he's going in all kind of places where buildings are all blown up into pieces, and in the background, and the reality of war. There's these soldiers that are going on patrol, and they pretty much went on sweeps and either capture or kill whole bunches of people. It's no different than back in the Nazi era. But he's going in his eras, risking his life. In the very end, he's crossing the border with a whole group of people. In the very end, anyway, I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but it ends up where he survives, and he's the only one that doesn't get killed. I think in the end, the one guy that was with him, he was talking to, said when the army trucks come, these soldiers come, he goes to him and says, whatever happens, do not follow us, don't follow me. And so he don't, and he's back there listening, and hears the gunshots, and then the army trucks drove away, and the soldiers just shot all the people, I guess kids, even the kids too, everybody. So he goes back there and he's crying. The one girlfriend he was with, I guess, in the whole movie that was helping him trying to find the reels, she was shot and killed. So in the end, he's quoting he's in tears watching this film, and he's quoting a poetic thing there in tears. I won't ruin it for you. You'd see if you ever seen the movie, but very sad but true, but very interesting at the same time. I mean, if you're interested in historical things, it's, in one way you can say it's depressing, but at the same time, if you watch any Holocaust movies, these things end in death and stuff like that. But so I guess in the movie he eventually finds them, he's watching them there and everything else, and the whole thing ends like sad at the same time, I mean, but he went through all this just to find these lost reels, because he, recording all kind of details about Balkan culture that these brothers were actually recording on these film reels, that back in an era, that it would be like taking a peek into that culture, a very rare thing, the stuff these brothers recorded back then, I mean, just like anything else, any old wars, people look for old photographs, and if there was anything where in an era where the first video camera were made, film reel was made, people looking for and saving the old archival pictures and footage, so that's what it's basically all about anyway. So anyway, that's my rating of the movie. I do recommend it. I mean, oh, and one thing before I end the movie, when you do get it, since it's in several languages, don't forget to go into the subtitles menu so you can switch it to English subtitles, because one of the reasons why I wanted to get this movie too, I've seen it, parts of it other places, you know what I mean? Put it this way, if you download it on any site that illegally, like, I think a lot of them places are coming down on it now, movies like this, you can't do that. It's one of them things where you want to get the actual DVD so that you can have the option to set the DVD in English subtitles, because there'll be people speaking these languages, and if you don't know the language, you want the subtitles to see what the hell they're talking about in English. You know what I mean? So there's going to be other people either yelling or talking some things in the background, or he'll be talking to some people in another language, but he'll be speaking English too, so you do. So what I'm saying, don't download any AVI things illegally or anything like that. For movies like this, you pretty much got to buy the DVD so that you can have it in your library and be able to switch the option for English subtitles, you know what I mean? To be able to grasp the movie, or any movie where people are speaking another language and you need the subtitles and switch to English and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, if you were able to get it and borrow it any kind of place, like, your local library has it, my local libraries down here had DVDs, but they don't have this one, so I went online just to order this and paid good money and bought it as an import just so I can see it. And, it's something that's worth seeing once, and I'm glad I did. It's, like I said, if you had a background in video production already, if I took it in any college course, or if you're into video production, into historical things, or to a certain extent, or even study things about war and death and people risking their lives and stuff like that, it's worth seeing once. I mean, it's a good story. It's a true story. I mean, it's worth watching once. So there you have it.